Okay, this experience happened around May 28th at around noon. Because what the deal was, I got that other experience, which I talked about, now I can't remember what it was. And then this experience I had after that, on May 28th, which I think was, what was that? That was, you know, the holiday or whatever it was. Okay, so anyway, Labor Day or something like that. Okay, so anyway, like, I don't keep up with all this bullshit. All this Matrix bullshit. Okay, so anyway, Memorial Day, that's what it was. I don't know why it takes me so long to do videos. Because it's been a freaking month already. Damn. Okay, so anyway, this experience, Joel, like I say, it was around noon time because I went back to bed. Oh yeah. And this time I woke up, I think that was a Sunday, but I woke up about, I think it was about 1:30 p.m. So anyway, so what the deal was, I mean, it wasn't one of the more fun, I mean, he's given me much more fun ones. But okay, so anyway, the reason why he made me, like I was astral traveling, you know, I was flying around throughout the whole experience. But the reason why he made me swim-fly, this time I literally was like I was swimming. And that's how I swim in real life. I like to swim like a toad. I've never liked to swim that other way. You know, whatever, the breaststroke, I hate that. I like to swim like a toad. That's how I've always liked to swim. And so I swim like that in real life. And and because I have my turtle that swims in water, and so I have that on the brain, so that's why he made me actually swim. Instead of just flying around like a bird, he made me literally like move my arms like in real life, like how I do like to swim in real water. But so basically instead of just flying around like a bird, I actually was swimming. And, you know, in the air and no gravity or whatever you call it. But anyway, so it started off with me he put me in this big office building. And over to the left was this big, huge, open hallway. Like there was a wall there, but on the other side wasn't a wall. It was just all back-to-back conference rooms. And the conference rooms were pretty big. And they were separated by walls, but they didn't have any doors, if you know what I'm saying. But the hallways were very wide. And so I swam, well, you know, astral traveled, I flew past many, many conference rooms, and a lot of them were just totally vacant and totally empty. And then some of them just had like one or two people standing around. And then finally, I swam-flew. This was actually the first time he's ever made me kind of like swim, when I was, you know, flying around, astral traveling around. But like I say, it's just because I have that turtle and I watch him swim in the water. And so that's where Joel got the idea. Okay, so anyway, so then finally, I flew past this one conference room, and there was tons and tons and tons of people. Like at least 25, or maybe 16, 17 standing around. And I don't remember seeing any desks or anything like that. But like I say, over to the left was just a big, big, big hallway, except it had a wall on the left. And then over to the right was all these big conference rooms, just back to back, back to back. But like I say, they were open. There was no doors. And most of them were just vacant. And I was swimming past them, flying in the air past them. But like I say, one conference room had a bunch of people standing around, like 15 to 20. And actually, I just went to this party or whatever for my niece, and she said they're going to the Dominican Republic. I think those people are very dark skinned, I think. So anyway, the reptilians, they like to put a lot of black people or Asian people or Middle Eastern people. This time, okay, so there was the other people were white people, but there was one woman, and she was older. She looked about, I don't know, like 62. And, but she was a black woman, but she didn't look like American, like a black American. She looked more like I say, like a different nationality. So I'm just going to say Dominican Republic. Because I think those people are very dark. Like I say, she was like a black woman, but not like American black woman. Like she was a different nationality. And like I say, she seemed about 62. And so I went up, I swam flew up to her, and then I was on my feet, and I was standing there, and I looked at her face, and I was like, can you see me? Can you see me? Are you one of the dream people? Can you see me? Can you hear me? Are you real? Because the aliens made me, well, not the aliens, but Joel, I mean, this was just one being, Joel, that gave me this experience. But he put that in my scenario because this one person on the David Icke forums, he's like, the dream people, have you ever went up to the dream people when you were out of body and start communicating to them and blah, 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 blah. And I'm thinking, these people are not real. They're not real. They're not actual spirits. These are people that they're just throwing in there. I mean, they may be real people that used to live in this dimension, or they're just creating them by their, they're not really real. They're not real spirits. The aliens can throw anybody, fake or real, and make them look, make them come to life or whatever. In my experiences. Well, like I said, I've heard people that had abductions. I mean, I don't think they were physical. They were like in virtual reality settings, and maybe their experiences are real. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe they do meet up with real people, like that they know in this dimension, but the aliens don't give me those kind of experiences. Like, they don't be like abducting somebody that I know and stick me in virtual reality experience, and I'm sitting there communicating like this person, Cynthia, that I know from California. They don't do that shit. I mean, if they did that, I could actually talk to that person and verify, do you remember this abduction? Well, chances are they're going to say no. But, I mean, they don't do that to me. Maybe some people they do, I don't know. But these people are freaking fake. But they're just as real as anybody. So this black woman or whatever from Dominican Republic, and like I say, I'm not sure what they look like, but I think they're dark. I'm just going to say Dominican Republic. So anyway, but I was just like, are you real? Are you one of the dream people? Can you hear me? Can you see me? And she was kind of being honorary, and she was just kind of looking like a robot, like walking around like a zombie. Like she was kind of faking it, like she really couldn't see me, like she really couldn't hear me, and blah, 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 blah. And so anyway, that's why the aliens got this idea, because they took that from my brain, because this guy was asking me on the David Icke forum about when I was telling them about all these out-of-body experiences. They, because some people, they don't know a lot about the aliens because they don't have these experiences. So they think whenever you're seeing these real seeming people in these abductions or out-of-body experiences, they were conditioned to think that they're real, like they're real spirits and blah, 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 and they're not. They're freaking fake. And I mean, like when the aliens abducted me, like really fast, and I was like in my bed, totally awake, and I'm like, what the hell? Where's my experience? Well, right after I went to sleep, boom, that's when he gave me a virtual reality experience of having romance with Cynthia, this real woman I know in this dimension, at her house in California. Well, she doesn't, I asked her, she doesn't remember any abduction like that or whatever. I mean, the aliens can throw anybody in your experiences. So the only way, I mean, first of all, if the person is enlightened, and, I mean, so yeah, it is possible that they could do that. I mean, if I had another enlightened person as enlightened as me or whatever, and they have all these out-of-body experiences. Yeah, it's possible the reptilians could put me together with that person. And I could be like, do you remember this experience? And they'll be like, yeah, I do, and blah, 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 blah. But, you know, I mean, that's not going to happen that way because not too many people are enlightened. You know, and so they just be putting, like, fake people, fake human beings and shit in my experiences. And they could be people that once, I don't know, that once existed in this dimension, or they're just literally never existed in this dimension, but they're totally real. They look real, seem real, like totally real humans, but you know what I'm saying? They're not really real. They're not spirits, like of course most people are conditioned to believe. Okay, so anyway, they're total virtual reality. That's why it's called virtual reality, but it's fake. Okay, so anyway, some of my experiences maybe have been real. Like maybe they took me to a real 3D place, and like those government agents that were sitting there, maybe they were real. I really don't know. I mean, I don't think they were. And I wish I remember what the hell those people look like when I had that experience a few years ago. But anyway, so like I don't know. Some of them could be real, but most of them aren't. So anyway, so she was acting kind of dumb, like a zombie, and like she really didn't hear me, like she really didn't see me. And like I say, sometimes they make me very excited in my experiences. They, meaning him, Joel. And he made me very excited when I said that to her. And finally, she came to life, so to speak, and decided not to act like a zombie anymore. And she looked at me, and she's like, yes, I really am for real. I can see you, I can hear you. And, you know, and she started interacting with me, and damn it, and she did say she said 3 or 4 sentences, and I cannot remember exactly what she said, but she did start coming to life and like, hey, yes, I really can hear you, I can see you. And then she said a few sentences, but I can't remember what she said. But it was funny because at first she did act like a dead zombie, like I really can't hear you, I can't see you, blah 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 blah. And then she came to life and started communicating and acting like she was real. Okay, so anyway, but when I looked at her eyes, her left eye shapeshifted into a reptile, into a reptilian alien, and it shapeshifted in a really odd way, like I don't know, it morphed in a really odd way, but it was like instead of like red with the green slit, it was like it came together from side to side, and it was like her eye was like all green with the red slit, but it was really cool. But so anyway, I mean, I don't necessarily believe that was Joel that actually was posing as her. It's just that with his virtual reality technology, whatever they use, he just created that for me. But he does, these beings, they do that a lot. They've been putting humans in my experiences, and they start shapeshifting into a reptilian alien. I mean their eye anyway, just their eye. And they'll always be putting black people in my experiences. Okay, so anyway, so finally I swam-flew past some more conference rooms, and then I kept going up and 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 up in the sky. And I know why he did that too, because I just recently was watching some preview of some movie. I forgot what it's called, where this guy's standing on a really, really high building. And so that's why he did that. And I was like, damn, I'm going to get scared here. Because at first I was just, swim flying just, 8-9 feet above the ground. And then all of a sudden, I mean, I started going up and up and up and up and up as I was swim flying. I was weightless, of course. As I was swim flying, he put me up at like freaking 50 stories. And then I looked over to my left and I saw 2 vending machines that were just over there. I mean, and well, kind of, it was up that high as I was, up that high. And there was 2 vending machines, and then over to the right was like a table right there next to the vending machines, and there was all these small little Halloween-sized Crunch candy bars. And so I flew up there, and I started opening them up and hurrying up because I knew he was going to pop me out of the experience. I already knew that. He was going to pop me out of the experience very soon. So I hurried up and pigged out on at least 5 or 6 small Halloween-sized crunch candy bars. I hurried up and did that. Okay, and now ahead, when I looked ahead after the vending machines ahead of that, it's like there was, which is kind of odd because I was already like freaking 50, 100 stories high. It looked like, you know, the back end of an industrial place, you know, where the semi-trucks back in and there's like a garage door or whatever you call it, like where the semi-trucks go in or back in. I saw that. You know, I don't know what you call that, but it's just kind of funny because at that point I was already way up in the sky, like freaking 50, you know, 100 freaking stories up. And so then, okay, I'm trying to remember if I'm forgetting anything, because I think I'm almost done. Okay, so anyway, I knew he was going to pop me out of the experience really, really soon. So sure enough, after I started picking out on the candy bars, if I forget anything, I'll put it in the comments. So he popped me back in bed. And oh yeah, by the way, I already knew when he popped me, when I knew the experience was about to end, I knew there was going to be a second go around, and I knew that was going to be sexual. So that, but anyway, I knew there was going to be a second go around. I knew it was going to be sexual. That's why I hurried up and ate the crunch candy bars, as many as I could, and I could actually taste the chocolate. And but sometimes that, like I guess because you're out of body and everything, it takes a little while to start tasting it. Like there's a delay, like several seconds before you start tasting it. Okay, so anyway, so finally he popped me back in bed, and like I say, he already told me, I already knew I was about to be popped out of the experience, and there was going to be a second go around, and that he was going to do sexual things for me, and or sexual things to me or whatever. Okay, so anyway, I started eating a bunch of crunch candy bars. About 5 or 6, and I unwrapped, and at that point I was still kind of floating there in midair, and I just started taking all these crunch candy bars, and like I say, the bench just kind of was somewhat, well, half of it was just kind of, I don't know, kind of floating really, and like I say, at that point I was already like 100 stories in the air. Okay, so then he abducts me again and puts me back in the same office building, and I go towards the back of all the conference rooms where the vending machines were, except this time I'm more on the ground. So then he starts doing sexual things, and one of the guys was like, he was like Hispanic, and that's all I'm going to say.